welcome to another broadcast of What the Fuck Tuesday, the craziest relationship advice show on YouTube, I am sure. Hands down, no doubt. Because, the questions are bad enough, but I think what makes, like put the frosting on the cake is that sometimes even I'm surprised at what comes out of my mouth. I go back and listen to the videos later so I could add those chapter things in, and it's like, wow, you kind of something wrong with you. You kind of crazy. I got this new lip gloss. I'm gonna wipe this stuff off, and it keeps getting on my teeth. Let's see if that helps. But anyway, I'm still trying to learn all this makeup stuff. So I went and bought this, and I'm like, oh, this is a cute color, but it smears too much. So let's see. As usual, we have 25 questions. Everybody who submitted a question should have, and if your question was selected, you should have received email response back from Candace. She has this little graphic that she sends you that says, your thing was chosen, and just listen to the show. So either you can listen to it live or you can go back and listen to it later. But we started doing that probably about 2 years ago to let people know, that their letter was chosen, because otherwise, I guess I didn't think about it, but they just had no way to know that their letter got chosen because everything's so anonymous. It's not like we're going to write them back and give them all these details. So she just hits reply to the email and sends them that little image, and so they know. So you guys ready? 25 questions as usual. Here we go with question number 1. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She's out of Pennsylvania. Hi, Miss Deb. What's the difference between wife benefits versus girlfriend benefits when it comes to giving emotional support to a guy? I've had boyfriends in the past come to me when they were having roommate or job issues just to vent for a little bit. But I found out that some of my friends would be on the phone for hours comforting their boyfriends, driving to their houses to be with them, letting them cry on their laps and such. To me, that's a turnoff if a boyfriend depends on me that much. I also don't like it when they spring heavy stuff on me out of the blue. It becomes too much to deal with, and I feel suffocated by the relationship. I don't go crying to my boyfriend over every little thing that happens, but I do vent my frustrations from time to time. But I'm also not an affectionate person, so I'm not sure if I'm being biased. I've been told that I'm mean and cold for being too matter of fact or not liking people touching me. I have ADHD and sensory issues. Well, I've never been diagnosed with those kind of things, but I don't like people touching on me unless I like that person and I want them to touch on me. So I don't really see where that in itself is a bad thing. And some people are real huggy, kissy, holdy, handy, and all that kind of stuff, pawing on each other. And some people just aren't like that. So, don't beat yourself up about it. That's just a personality trait. Now, this thing about the men whining and crying and spitting and boo-hooing all over the place, no. And whether you say it's a wife benefit or a girlfriend benefit, no. Even as a wife, don't nobody want to hear all that. It's like, you have a problem. Let's talk about it. You have something that we can solve together. Let's discuss the matter. But you just come in and want to be crying in my lap and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to push you off on the floor. That's not a good look. Babies, yes. Grown men, no. You can lay your head on my lap and while we talk crap to each other and play footsie or something, but to do that, to think that, like I'm your mommy, no, we're not doing that. So I'm not really sure why, what concept you have of, quote, wife benefits. That is not an obligation of anybody, any woman to have to be listening to that over and over and over. Like, it say some, really traumatic thing happens. Like, I don't know, your child just got diagnosed with some, terminal illness. Well, I'm sure you guys be crying in each other's laps. You know what I mean? Because that's a devastating thing for a parent. Or maybe, one of his parents, died or was about to die or something like that. And he's, upset, of course, rightfully upset about that. Well, you might pat him up and stuff like that. But, this hours on the phone stuff, no. You need a shrink. Get you a shrink And then when they hit you with that $250 for that first hour, I bet you all them tears you had will cry up, son. They will dry up because you won't want to be paying $1,000 to cry on somebody's couch. But see, girlfriends want to do that stuff for free. No, I don't want to hear it. I didn't even like it when my daughter cried, and she was a baby. You know what I mean? You try to understand, but then at a certain point, they just be crying just to be crying. I'm like, shut up, go in your room and do that in there. I'm not trying to hear all that. So you think I want to hear that from a grown man? Girl, I don't even know what to tell you about your friends. Something's wrong with them. That just makes no sense. Okay, let's move on from this touchy-feely letter. Question number 2, female, 50 to 56. She's a Libra out of Los Angeles. The young man in question is a 57 to 65-year-old Leo. Okay, Leo men. Now, I'm a Leo. I done told you. They just, either Leos together is just like out of this world wonderful, or they are like the depths of despair because it's just too much going on. So let's see how she gets it together with this Libra woman. Okay, I don't even know where to start. That makes two of us. I have been dating my boyfriend for over 3 years, and as we spend more time together, something's starting to get on my last nerve. He doesn't like to take showers. And she put that in caps. I'm not saying take a bath instead. I'm saying he literally does not like to bathe. When I go to bed with someone, I take my personal hygiene seriously. I always shower right before I turn in. I notice that he never follows me to the shower or showers after. When I ask if he's going to take a shower, he says stuff like, I just showered before you got here, or I haven't left the house all day. Well, I don't give a shit. I want to smell soap on your body. I am not into that freaky 2 to 3 day old sweaty non-showered eggplant stuff. Oh, if I'm trying to be clean for you, I would like the same in return. Deb, I have tried everything to motivate him. I take one right before bed. I set the towels out for him. I say, let's go to bed early so we have time to shower. I ask if he took one already, etc. This is such a turnoff for me. I'm not saying that he smells terrible, but I want to know that the person I'm about to lay up with is clean. I sometimes just want to blurt it out, but I honestly don't want to hurt his feelings. But I'm such a clean freak. All I can think about is his eggplant. Okay, wait. This girl is a comedian. So I can think about his eggplant hanging in the toilet as he poops with, with shit water splashing all up on it, and then trying to do something with me that night. Ugh. Apart from that, he's a cool guy, but maybe now I'm wondering if that's why he is divorced. Oh, this is the best letter ever. Oh my God, girl, you have some real skills as a comedy writer. I'm gonna say that. Um, have you just tried telling him that you're not going to sleep with him until he takes a bath, till he cleans himself? That would be my route. It's like, I don't care what you did hours ago and that you never left the house or anything like that. If you want some of this, you need to go in there and wash up, take a shower, do something with yourself. Otherwise, go sleep on the couch or something. Go in there with the bugs. No, it's about to be climbing on you. Yeah, because it's like when people don't want to bathe like that, especially they're trying to be, romantic with you, and then all it takes is one whiff of something that's not fresh, and then it's like a complete turn off. I don't know how you do it. I mean, by the time a month went by and I noticed he had them little odors wafting from him in different crevices, that would have worked for me. I don't know how you're doing it, and especially you got the routine down, and I just really don't understand how come you tolerate this. You might want to give this some thought, because see, my thing is if he knows that's your thing and that's what you need to feel comfortable and relaxed and to be really into the moment, and he refuses to do it, well then that means you don't want no moments. That's the way Deb looks at it. In which case, I would feel real fine about kicking him out or sleeping somewhere else or doing whatever, because I don't know if you guys married, living together, or what. You didn't really say what the situation is, but he wouldn't be getting nothing from me being stinky. Well, she said, he probably doesn't stink, but like I said, if it's a thing that she, it increases her comfort level and it increases the turn on for her, what man would not want that to happen? That's what I'm saying. So he just being a stubborn Leo, that's how we are. If we don't want to do it, we're not going to do it. But, you have to draw your line in the sand. This is saying it's your boundary. If you don't bathe, there will be no nookie. I'm not going to sleep with you when you haven't bathed, bottom line. And then leave it, let him deal with it from there. Because I'm just like, I just don't understand. Any man, I mean, they be like all shiny suited and booted and everything, clean, nails buffed, all kind of stuff when they think they're going to get some. So the fact that he is just taking it for granted that he can just, be walking around funky or like, with day old dirt on him and then climbing the sheets and just be all okay, you be okay with it. Well, girlfriend, that's real boundaries. And did you miss the show we just did yesterday? Wait, not yesterday, Sunday on boundaries? You need to look at it. Yeah, because I'm with her. I mean, I would have never thought of that angle, but she's right about what's going, the toilet water. Okay, I'm really grossed out now. I will never think about that the same ever again. Oh, this letter was hilarious to me. I just never heard nobody say this kind of stuff before. Whew. Question number 3, female 18 to 21 from Seattle, Washington. As someone who is interested in finding a serious long-term relationship, I've heard this quote, wait 90 days kind of advice is a good way of weeding out people who don't want the same. I also know I'm someone who can feel very attached after physical intimacy, so I don't want my judgment clouded as I get to know the person. I'm planning on being very upfront about this to anyone I want to go on a date with. So how do you think men will feel if a woman says, I will not kiss or have eggplant for the first 3 months of dating? I will think that they will think that you're stupid and that you read Steve Harvey's book and you don't know what you're doing. Okay, now, there's a way to do that without giving a hard number, because you might decide that, he do something stupid and you want to wait 5 or 6 or 8 months. You might want to wait till you get married. You don't want to put yourself like sign a contract like that. What you say is, I am not the type of person who wants to just, advance the relationship using that physical kind of intimacy to do it. I want to know who you are as a man, who you are as a person. I want to know where where we fit, where we mesh, if there's some real conflict between us. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel that I know the man that I'm getting in bed with very well before anything like that happens. Whether that takes, because they always go on, well, how long do you think that's going to take? I have no idea. I don't have the getting to know you clock. I'm not, Miss Cleo. I don't have a future seer there. What I do know is that this process, it involves lots of conversation. It involves spending time together, and it involves you being open and vulnerable enough to let me in. I will do the same to you. If you have any problem with that, or I see that that's not really working, and then, this will never happen, and we'll move on to other people. So that's how I operate. Is that okay with you? If it is, then we can move forward. If it's not, and you think that you want that kind of intimacy, before you really, before if you're comfortable, your partner is comfortable. That's what I'm trying to say. You want it, and that's so important to you that your partner's comfort is secondary. Then I'm not the girl for you. And then you just move on from him. But you don't pull out that 90 days, because what they're going to do is wait 90 days, tap it, and they're going to be mad that you said that. Then they're going to tap it on the 91st day and then deuce out because you put them on a clock. So that's not how you handle it, because that's not really what you mean. What you really mean is what I said. So that's what you say to them, okay? It's a communication style. Let's move on. Question 4. We got 25 questions. Young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from Moreno Valley, California. The young man in question is in the 28 to 34 age group. I can't begin to explain how many times I've been accused of wandering eyes. It has only gotten worse the longer our relationship, 15 months, has gone on. We can't go to the supermarket, the gym, or do anything without him telling me I'm looking at somebody. When it is really bad, he will call me things like attention, oh, witch with another letter in front of it, oh, the C word, manipulative, pathological liar, and lots more, which I have never once heard anyone describe me as before. I've tried to be mindful and put on what I describe as my beer goggles and kind of keep my gaze towards the ground whenever we're out. But he always seems to find something, a momentary lapse when I notice someone walking into a room or go to read a sign as just someone happened to be standing near. I am at a loss. I cannot get it through his head that I'm not doing that, and it's making my day-to-day life so weird. Even when I'm not with him, I find myself, this is sad, feel like I'm being a terrible person just walking around with my eyes looking where I'm going. The last occasion he said he is going to show me how it feels while we were at a food festival and continued to stare at all the beautiful women that walked past, making eye contact with anyone who looked his way. What kind of relationship is this? When I've talked to people I know about his behavior, they all tell me that it's about control. It's gotten to the point where I can't go and see my friends and family without him because he doesn't trust my eyes. He's made me remove my lifelong male friends from my social and cut off all contact because they couldn't possibly just want to be friends with a pretty girl. He doesn't let me and has never let me go to the gym alone under the guise of it's not safe. I'm not allowed to go out without a bra or in anything he thinks is too short. When I confront him, he goes, well, why can't you just love me? I don't understand why you guys want to dress like the S word for men's attention. I dress like any other 25-year-old girl. This is kind of tiring to me just typing it out. I don't know what else to do. I barely have the energy to argue my case anymore. I just try to find the easiest way to get back to normal. What could I do to make him know I would never hurt him like that? What you do is you get rid of this fool. This is an idiot. How are you going to be dating somebody 15 months that treats you like this? Are you out of your mind? The first time he accused you of something, you're supposed, let me tell you how, when they do that shit to me, this is what I do. Okay, and from the teens, oh, you looking at other niggas? Well, no, I'm not, but I'm about to. And then I make it my goal. Every time I see a guy, oh, look at the muscles on him. Ooh, his back is built. His legs is this. And oh, look how tall and dark and handsome he is. I rub it in. I say everything and I do everything and just be all kinds of extra. You know why? Because he's just trying to see if he can control you and you're letting him do it. You don't let no man tell you how to dress. You dress the way you want to dress. He's not buying your clothes. You buy your clothes and you go where you want to go and you do what you want to do. Okay, get rid of this fool. I'm surprised you even, just reading this letter, right when you were typing it out, I know you had to read it back before you press send. Can't you see how stupid this man is? And how much he's just trying to control you and you're letting him do it? What you mean he won't let you go to the gym? How he stopping you? You get in your car and you go to the gym. You call a friend and pick you up and you go to the gym. You call an Uber and you go to the gym. He's not stopping you. You're stopping yourself. And you think like it's just easier and stuff. Look at we just did this on Sunday, boundaries. And this is one of the kind of things that's in there. You didn't put any up. So you just let him come into your life and just take over. Well, you better get rid of this fool like pronto. He'll get rid of himself, really. All you have to do is start telling him no and do what you want to do, and then he'll leave because he'll see that he's lost control. I just don't understand it. These kind of men, well, we don't want to say that. We don't know what he's going to do because he just sounds stupid. But, the main thing is he's just trying her, and she didn't put up any resistance. So, they all going to try it. But what you have to do as a woman is say, look, is this how you going to be when they do the first time? Is this how you want to be? This how you think you're going to run a relationship? Well, then we can't be in one because I'm not that chick. You're not going to tell me what to do. You're not going to tell me where to go. You're not going to tell me what I can wear. You're not going to tell me what friends I can have. You're not going to tell me nothing. Your role in my life is to make me be happier. And right now, with you trying to dictate and control everything, that's not what's on the agenda. You about to get on my last nerve, so you got to go, son. But so many women don't say that. I don't know why they don't recognize what this is. It's some bullshit. You don't be letting no man tell you nothing. I don't even let them order for me in a restaurant. Well, let me order for you. No, I'm gonna order what my stomach feels like eating. You order for yourself. I just don't get it. Anyway, young lady, get rid of him. Question number 5. This is a young lady in the 35 to 41 age group from Surrey in the UK. She's writing about a man in the same age group, 35 to 41. Hi, Deb. Over the last few months, I have been dating a man I am really compatible with. We get along well and want the same things out of life. We live about 3 hours apart, but have been commuting to see each other, and it's worked well. Okay, last few months. Okay. He has 2 children from a previous relationship that are 4 and 8 every other week and is a good father to them. I haven't yet had children, but I'd like to. We are on the same page and moving in a good direction. We enjoy each other's company, and I like the way he treats me with respect, care, and consideration. I rarely come across a man I am attracted to and can see myself having a lasting relationship with. After our 6th date, though, he told me that he has herpes simplex virus type 2. I was really shocked, but also grateful that he told me before we became intimate in any way. He gave me the space to think about it and digest the news. I didn't know much about it, but from what I have researched, you can use condoms and dental dams to limit the chance of transmission. But there's still a chance of catching it even if you do use protection. It's also possible that I would not contract it at all and wouldn't have any symptoms. It's also possible that you could have it and not have any symptoms too. So it's like a three-way pie there. We really like each other and are on the same page. We have discussed how to navigate the distance, and we both want to have children. I am just concerned about contracting this virus if we were to try to conceive. I care about him a lot, and we have continued to spend time together talking about this situation realistically and openly. I feel it's unfair that I have finally found someone I want to be with, and now there's this herpes thing. Deb, do you have any thoughts on how this can work? I know herpes is very common because when I brought the topic up in general vague conversation with 2 girlfriends, one told me she has herpes type 2, and now so does her husband, and the other told me that her husband has herpes type 1. Well, everybody in the chat is saying that you should depart the situation. I do know that, most women, if they have it, they're going to make you get a C-section so you don't transmit it to the baby through the vaginal canal. So your opportunity, it's a lot of women, they consider that the real birth to have way to have a child. That would be denied you. I hear it's painful, uncomfortable. I don't know. I personally, I would thank him for telling me, but then I would be like, oop, and deuce out. I don't even want to date nobody with diabetes. I'm just, I just don't do well with afflictions, and so, I don't know what to tell you. That's something I think you should go and talk to a doctor about, so they can give you, the most up-to-date information on research and studies and medications that, he or she or you both could take to keep the episodes at bay and stuff like that. I don't know what to tell you on that. That's, just going into a realm outside my field of expertise, into the medical realm. So that's why I'm going to pass that baton and tell you to take this to a doctor. Your gynecologist should know, and run it by him or her and see what they have to say. And they'll tell you all kinds of, all the ins and outs and ways to work around it. And you can then weigh if that's what you want to do, or if you just want to go find somebody that doesn't have that problem. Personally, I would be like, oh, yeah. Next. Question number 6, male, 18 to 21, Aquarius, from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I am 21 and just finished a great date with a girl. During the middle of the date, I asked her if I could kiss her. She laughingly said yes, and we did end up kissing. But my friends think I'm weird because I always ask for consent in some way. But I'm wondering if it's just that if just flat out asking, can I kiss you, is kind of a turnoff to women. Well, y'all put what you think in there. I wouldn't be turned off by it, especially if it's an early date. Now, I might tell him no. It just sounds like, you said a great date, but, was that the first great date or the second great date? You didn't say. Um, I'm just not really into the lip lock thing with somebody I don't know, they hygiene and stuff. Because, you can get all kind of stuff from people's mouths. And maybe something's wrong with me because I'm just kind of an ick factor. No, he's not goofy. In this era of Me Too and consent and coercion and all the stuff, it's any man who doesn't ask to me is stupid. Yeah, you see them romance movies and you think it's all, romantic to just be grabbing some girl and kissing on her and stuff. That's likely to get you a knee in the groin. So I think his way of doing it is very smart. And I also think that, if it's done in the right environment, like, they're looking, and he's looking into her eyes and, they're holding hands or whatever. And then he turns to her and he says, is it all right if I kiss you or can I kiss you, whatever. I think that he's not going to destroy the atmosphere or the romantic interaction or anything like that. It's going to it'll be okay to do that. So I like it. I like that plan, and I think you should continue to do that and always ask consent every step of the way, because this is the problem. The way the law is written, okay, say she consents to fooling around, but not to the actual act. But you assume that because you fooling around, that she's down with the whole kit and caboodle. That'll get you an R charge, because unless she gave you consent for that act and you went on and did it anyway, especially if she's trying to push you away, turn her head away, or say no, or get up or leave the space, anything like that, and you pull her back or you try to coerce her by saying, oh, come on, that kind of stuff, see, that'll get you an R charge. That's not how you do it. A woman has to have what I call enthusiastic consent, where she's, you say, can I kiss you? And then you start, but then she finishes. And, if any clothes be coming off and stuff like that, she's as involved in that process as you are. And, it's a mutual action is going on. That's enthusiastic consent. And any man who does not have that kind of stuff, where you pressuring the girl, you demanding, you threatening, you asking, you begging, you whining, you forcing, anything like that, you are a rapist. Okay, I just want to put that out there. You a rapist. Anytime you feel entitled because you took somebody to dinner and she says, well, I don't really want to, and you start making sure that it happens anyway, you're a rapist, sir. And you belong behind bars. So young parents who have sons need to be teaching them this kind of stuff, and teaching what the difference is between what they call consent, which can be manufactured through pressure and coercion and threats, or enthusiastic consent, where the woman voluntarily participates and is all over the dude, and she's like, yeah, this is great. That's what you want. So, I think a lot of guys don't know the difference in that. So, anyway, long story short, I like your approach. Continue to do it. Ignore people who are stupid and don't understand what's going on here socially, this culture that we live in. You're a very smart young man, so continue to handle yourself the way that you are, and you will never have a problem with a woman really, really wanting you. You will know it, and so will she. Question number 7, female, 28 to 34 in Vallejo, California. Man, same age group. How should I confront my husband about his regular communication with his ex-girlfriend behind my back and get him to stop? He's 34 and I'm 31, and we've been married for 2 years. My husband's former girlfriend has been contacting him recently, and he's been responding to her, even though he refused to see her in person so far. I was not snooping, but I found some communications from her when I was looking at his email for payment confirmation for a bill that we paid. Following this, I checked his phone and found more evidence of contact between them. While I'm glad that he refused to meet her face to face, I am concerned that he has been interacting with her and didn't tell me. How should I confront him and tell him that he must stop all contact with her? The fact that he didn't tell you means he knows that he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing. So what you have, if it were me, I would have sent her a note right then and there, like, what you doing? This, he's a married man, stop it. And then I would have went to him and said, now what is this? What is this, all this, sneaking around stuff with your ex? What is this kind of bullshit here that you're trying to do? And then I would have listened to his explanation and say, okay, well, this is how this is gonna go. Do you want to stay married or not? Because if you don't, just tell me. I mean, we're not gonna fight about it. I mean, you can, in California, it's, no fault divorce. We can be done with this shit here in 90 days. So just let me know. I'm asking you right now, what do you want to do? No, I don't want a divorce. Okay, then what part of talking to your ex and sneaking around behind my back shows me that you want to stay married to me and you want a happy marriage with full of trust? How does that, is that reflected in your behavior? See, that's how you got to talk to them. You don't like go off and threaten and stuff. You just kind of walk them through it, because men are stupid. And so, but it should start with, do you really want to be married? Because that's the bottom line. When they start doing shit like this, that to me is the question. What is it that you want here? I mean, you just putting your toe in the water. You think it's okay to talk to her? I mean, why would you even go down that road? Is this something that you want me to start doing too? You want me to go, start communicating with my exes behind your back? Are you be comfortable with that? Knowing that they still want to get with you and trying to meet up and all this kind of stuff? How does that going to provide safety, security, and uphold the vows that we made to each other? Please explain that to me. It's that kind of conversation. So he can sit there and think about it and say, yeah, I'm a stupid dummy. And then he, on his own, will tell the woman to leave him alone, or he will block her. But, you don't tell him to stop. That has to be a decision he has to come to. But you do it in a way, like I just said, where you lead him to think about how his behavior is going to meet the goal of him. What he said is, no, I don't want a divorce. I want to stay married. Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad that was your answer. But explain to me how that behavior is going to meet this goal when you making your wife feel very insecure and is threatening to the marriage, and is threatening to my sense of safety and belief in you. And then, you do that, kind of put that little twist of guilt on there. But I mean, it's true though. I mean, because that is how you're feeling. It's reflected in this letter. And just ask him and let him figure it out on himself, and then he will block her. Now, if he doesn't, in spite of the fact that he said he wants to be married, you know what time it is. That's why you always have to start with that question first. It lays the foundation for where you go after that. Okay? So his actions have to match his words. That's the whole point of this little exercise, and hand holding him with words trick. His actions have to ultimately match his words. If there's conflict, then go by his actions. Okay? So if he still want to tip around with his ex, then your marriage of 2 years is over. Question number 8. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's a Cancer from Austin, Texas, and she is biracial. The male in question is 22 to 27, a Gemini, and he is black. Oh, I want to tell you guys too, because I added race, ethnicity, or whatever as an optional category to the form. So we're starting to get letters in that have that information in it now this week, because I just added it last week. So it's like, oh, this is going to be interesting. It's optional, so people don't have to put it. But, like I said, I thought about it. It's like sometimes it does matter, because we're getting a lot of letters from the UK these days. And people are all kinds of different cultures. And sometimes that, that does impact what's going on in my response. So okay, so she's biracial and he's black. Okay, let's see what kind of dust is about to happen here. Deb, my boyfriend said my natural curls are ugly. My boyfriend has the habit of not getting his hair cut for months at a time. It'll be fine if that's generally how he wanted it, but he doesn't get it cut, and then he complains about his hair. Well, we went out to dinner with my family, and he looked like a hot mess. Unwashed hair sticking every which way. His beard and his hair were completely out of control. In the car, I told him that this was embarrassing to me because he looks like he doesn't take care of himself at all. He started telling me that I'm the embarrassing one because he doesn't like my hair because it's curly. This really hurt me because this is my hair when I wash and style it. My boyfriend is saying that I have to straighten my hair every single day to be attracted to him. Even then, he says the inevitable frizz is also very unattractive. I can't help that. I told him it's completely different from me to be embarrassed by him not taking care of himself than it is for him to be embarrassed by me doing my best with my natural curly hair texture. Is it a double standard for me to think he's way out of line? Girl, what are you doing? How would you let some man come around your family looking like that? I would have lied and told him that I was just meeting my mother and just going to be the two of us. He wouldn't have came. Not with me, not looking like that. And then you're gonna let him like he's mad because he know he look a hot mess, and then he gonna try to flip it around and complain about your hair. See, that is the moment at which he would have to get out of my car and go find somebody else to show his naps to, and the lint covered beard and all of what's going on with him. He would have had to go do that somewhere else other than me. Young lady, you do not reward a man with your time, your energy, your affection, and your body when he talks to you like this, when he degrades and demeans you like this. You get rid of him. That's what you do. This is a boundary violation like 9,000. And he's sitting up there like, who would have thought it? And then go try to talk about somebody else's hair. No, he's got to go. He's got to go. I wouldn't say he's all of that, but what he is emotionally and verbally abusive. Y'all, sometimes I wonder where you get the stuff that you be talking about. He's not feminine or anything like that. He's just nasty, ill-kept, ungroomed. You guys, that's what I like. This beard style that was in, I don't know if it's still in style. Where people had them giant beards that looked like a pharaoh. That was all pointing down and just their face was all fuzzy and stuff. And that was a style. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it still is, but it was a style for a while. All these brothers was wearing these giant beards. They're all pointy at the end and stuff. And I was looking at that like, this looked like birds could be nesting on your face. I don't like that. I don't want a man who's got all that fur on his face. That just looks nasty to me. It's full of bacteria and food particles and stuff. Snot, saliva, all kind of stuff I'd be imagining wiggling around in that beard. I just can't. I don't want any man with all that fur on his face. That just looks unsanitary to me. And you got a man who got it on his face and on his hair, and you be dealing with it? You need to rethink this. You need to have better boundaries, and you need to have better standards for the men in your life. This guy is a joke. Oh, I forgot to take this stupid thing off. Yeah, no, this is no. Question number 9. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group from San Diego. And the man, same age group. Dad, my boyfriend has a habit of talking before thinking, and it always makes me upset with what he says. He doesn't know what he's saying is hurtful until I react. My boyfriend works hard and will support me financially when and where needed, where I suppose is bare minimum per what I've learned here. So you was giving him credit for being a bare, basic, minimum dusty butt, and now you came to the channel and you learned that that's the bare minimum. Okay. A month ago, my grandfather got taken to the hospital, and the first couple of days of being admitted, my family and I didn't know how long he had to live. My grandparents lived 200 miles away, and he calls me up asking when I'll be home because, quote, I can't stay up there until he dies. We need to earn money. But my family comes first. Then a couple of weeks ago, wow, he said that to you? We need to earn money? Then a couple of weeks ago, we were shopping for summer clothes to go away for a few days. And I was looking in the men's section for jeans. There were none left for women. I've got wide hips, so I needed a bigger size, obviously. And he goes, wow, I didn't know you were that big. I began to cry. Why would my boyfriend think that's okay to someone? I struggle with my weight. Oh, I think she meant say that to someone as I struggle with my weight, and he knows it. Also, when I try to lose weight, he won't help me. Instead, he keeps suggesting takeaway, etc. after asking him to please keep those things away from me. Also, upon meeting members of my family for the first time, he thought it was a good idea to tell them how he met a girl at a nightclub, slept with her, and then after finding out that she had a boyfriend, he wanted to fight him. I was so embarrassed when my uncle brought it up at dinner one night. Dad, but part of me knows I shouldn't be with someone that doesn't think or care about what he says, but I know his intentions aren't meant to be hurtful. It's like he's trying so hard that he screws it up. I think a part of me is also scared. What are your thoughts? You don't need to be scared. You need to be kicking your ass for being stupid. Of course he means it. What's wrong with you? You think he's like a 2-year-old and doesn't know? He knows very well what he's doing and what he's saying, and he's doing it for attention, and he's doing it to hurt and disrespect you. When men act like this, they're trying to get you to show it that you have a spine and respect yourself. So he's doing the absolute most. What you're supposed to do is break up with him when he does this, but you don't do it. You just keep hanging on like he's the last man on earth, letting him disrespect you and dog you out. This letter is very upsetting. You have to where your grandfather, because we only got two, is about to die, and he's worried about making some money so he can use some of your money to buy something. Essentially, you want to shake her. I want to drop kick her. This makes no damn sense. Get your shit together, young lady. Everything in this letter, this man is trash. You done got like the bottom of the barrel, and you bring it around your family, so now your whole family knows you stupid too. This is embarrassing. Man, if you were my family, I would be cussing out both of you. Him for being garbage and you for aligning yourself with trash. Because you know you were raised better than this. This will make no damn sense to be messing around with somebody like this. I didn't know you were that big. Well, I wish I could say the same about your dick. I would have to fire back. I don't know my mouth. I would have to say something foul and funky and right in the store, right in front of everybody, like how he did me. And sitting up there with your aunts and your family talking about how he picked up a girl in a nightclub, I would have to say, why were you sitting in my family? And right there, why are you sitting here with my relatives telling them how much of a hoe you are? That's something you should be keeping a goddamn secret, nigga. Stupid ass fool. Oh my God. I know I would have lost my mind, and so everybody in my family would have cussed him out too, because that's just how we roll. Mary Elizabeth said, strike through, you're out. You right. Young lady, get your shit together. This dude is like, I don't know where you found him, but anyway, roll him back over there to that dumpster and put him out like the garbage he is. And let's move on, okay? Watch the video. You too need to watch the boundaries video and get your stuff together. This don't make no damn sense. Question number 10, male, 57 to 65 from St. Paul, Minnesota. Female is 35 to 41. I started seeing a woman who's 41. I'm 58. That is a pretty good gap. A few months ago, I have been struggling with the age difference, but she sees no problem with it. I am fit and don't really look my age, but the reality of an almost 2-decade age gap will come home to roost at some point. I feel I'm stealing her opportunity to find an age-appropriate mate. She says I am what she wants in the moment. Her family seems to genuinely like me, and my family kind of laughs it off, dirty old man sort of thing. She and I are curious about what you and the squad think. Am I an old codger taking advantage of a naive younger woman? At 41, her ass is not a naive young woman. It's not like she's a little ingenue in college or something. Come on now. She is what they call a matron, and you just an old codger. That's what's going on here. But, she say, this is what she wants in the moment. That's kind of interesting. That phrasing is interesting to me. But anyway, what I'm going to tell you this is don't get your emotions too involved. I mean, it's nice that you like her and stuff, but don't fall in love. Because this is like, a momentary thing. She done already put the warning flags out there. Okay, so don't be doing anything. And just because you dating her, what, she's supposed to be your girlfriend or what's going on here? If I were you, I'd be dating other women too. And tell her that that's what you're going to do. And she can date other dudes if she wants to. I'm just saying, I know y'all don't understand. He would have had to get cussed out. I'm sorry. All in front of my uncles and everything. Well, it's just how it would have went. But, girlfriend, dude, yeah, that would be the only thing I can say. Enjoy it while it lasts. But I would recommend, too, that you start, investigating other opportunities and date women, more closer to your age. Because this is going to fizzle out. And if you get too attached to her, then you're going to be hurting. It doesn't make sense for you to invest your emotions in something like this. Like you said, you on a downstroke to 60 and she just barely in her 40s. That ain't going to work. That ain't gonna work. Oh, wait, did I lose? I forgot some left at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Question number 11. Male in the 28 to 34 age group from Coventry, West Midlands in the UK. Deb, my mother is, as you say in the US, quote, tripping hard, end quote. She just asked me if I have met some nice girls here where I moved to with my current girlfriend from Wales. Of course, she knows I'm in a relationship, but she just asked me that. She also makes faces when I share funny stories about our relationship. My parents basically seem to think that this girl is not good for me because she's not at my level, just because I'm always the one who was adventurous, sporty, and have a good education. My girlfriend is overweight and had to learn to live basically through the experiences with me. She has other qualities that I see, but people don't seem to be unsatisfied with my choice in relationship. Also, asking that is a bit rude. My girlfriend is doing a lot of effort to overcome her difficulties and she's improving a lot. She is less scared of doing things. She's gaining confidence and she's learning to live. She was anxious and had bad relationships, but also good ones when she was younger. I don't know why the hate. My mom seems to want me to have a beautiful supermodel with long legs and super smart and maybe also with money just because she thinks that I am good looking and smart. But I am a very normal, nothing special, just an average looking and average accomplishment guy. It's not so important to me, but my girlfriend may be overweight, but she is beautiful, and I'm sure that with confidence and living a life of satisfaction, it will give her the boost to lose weight and be healthy. So what you're doing is what I advise people not to do, which is banking on potential. I mean, she may, do all those things. I mean, she's evidently started. You've noted it in this letter. But what if she reaches a plateau and then decides she don't want to lose no weight and she don't want to be healthier, and the idea of going on a hike with you is just like nauseating? What you gonna do? I'm not saying that your mother's option is the right one for you. I'm just saying be cautious because it's great to like her and all that stuff, but I'm seeing a lot of you like trying to mold her like Mars Blockman. You trying to mold her into something, and she seems to be kind of okay with it right now while you kind of educate her and bring her along and show her life and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, just be cautious here. Just be a little reserved with your emotions, but you can back your mothers off and stuff. Just tell her, look, I'm gonna sleep with who I want to sleep with, and you don't have nothing to say about it. Please shut up. You go sleep with your husband, and I'm gonna sleep with my girlfriend because this is what I like, and you like what you like. Because one thing I'm not gonna be doing is changing my life to suit you. You have a man. You worry about him. You check, shut her down with something like that. She'll leave you alone because it'll hurt her feelings. It'll make her eyes. She'll be, having the Pikachu face, and then she'll leave you alone. But usually sons are very gentle, and so they don't talk to their mothers like that. Whereas the daughters be like, bah, blowing their mama's hair back. But yeah, you're gonna have to come hard on it because that's just very rude. It's insensitive. It's disrespectful to you. You're a grown ass man. You know what you want. Question number 12, male, 20 to 34 out of Ohio. Oh God, the drama. I opened my big mouth and told my date that I haven't had any serious relationships and she dumped me. I won't really get into the specifics, but for circumstances outside of my control, I haven't had a serious relationship with the opposite sex. I mean, I've had girlfriends in high school and early in college, but I was young and naive then and really wouldn't consider them real relationships. Anyway, I opened up and confided in my date about this, and she's 33, said that at this stage in her life, she only wants to date people who have had prior serious relationships. I get it why she would prefer that, but we've had so much in common, and to throw all it away because I haven't had a real relationship before is crazy to me. I'm super motivated to put in the time and effort for something that she and me too would find very thrilling. But Deb, this isn't the first time this has happened, and it's now becoming a really big insecurity of mine. I feel like there's nothing that I can do. I need experience to get a girlfriend. I need a girlfriend to get experience. And to make matters worse, I live in a small town and go through all the eligible single ladies on the apps in one day. And I have all the apps. You need to move. I've been trying to establish a meaningful relationship for a year now, but it's so utterly deflating rather, to be putting so much in and not getting anything out. Any insight or suggestion for me? Yes. Move immediately. Move immediately. And then the second thing you're going to do is shut up. What? Okay, let me just say, okay, you trying to get with somebody. Let me explain something to you because you don't seem to get it. When you're a man, everything that comes out of your mouth has two options. Either you gonna be turning her on or you gonna be turning her off. So anything that falls into the left side of turning her off, you don't say those things. You keep them in your mind, your little bird brain, your little lizard brain, in the deep dark recesses of that. You write it in your diary. I don't know, write it on a cloud. I don't know what you're going to do, but you don't say it to her. Everything that comes out of your mouth should be something that's going to make her happy, make her smile, make her want to screw you, make her think you're great. Okay? You don't lie, but you don't say stupid stuff like, I've never had a girlfriend, to somebody in their 30s. She's not going to want you. Because you know what she's thinking? Oh no, he's a virgin. Yeah, there's no in between. There's no in between. And I think most men don't get that. They say the dumbest shit, and it's a complete turn off. You know, all the pussy juice goes and just dries all the way the fuck up. And they just be sitting there just mouthing off and running off the mouth, legs all crossed, reared back in the chair, just running their damn mouth and turning every woman off within earshot. So hopefully that's a valuable lesson you just learned. Shut up. You don't need to be telling nobody that. Just like you don't tell them how much money you make, you don't tell them. Just shut up. Just ask her about herself and make generalized conversation. You don't need to be telling nobody the details of your life in an early date like that. I mean, she's gonna say, oh, well, how were your relationships before? Well, I really don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about you and me, baby. Let's go talk about what's here and what's happening now. I don't want to talk about them cows. That's the past. That's history. There's non-motherfucking factor in the here and now. What I'm be doing with you. Okay, that's what you say. You don't have to bring up anybody from the past or what you did and didn't have in the past. I don't understand why you even thought that was a good conversation to have. Oh my God, men are stupid. Y'all just, and then and they be listening to these other dudes online. That's the part that be cracking me up. They be talking to these dudes. Yes, to get a woman, you have to do this and say that. No, you don't. What you really would do really well, most men would do better and get more women and more play if they just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Stop fucking talking. Because when you talk, you say stupid shit and don't nobody want to hear no way. And then you talk yourself out of pussy. Stupid asses. Make the women run off and go home. Yeah, see, he just tell him, how inexperienced he is. Dude, every single thing that you need to learn now is on Google University. They teach you all kind of stuff with videos and everything to teach you how to navigate a woman's body and do all kind of stuff. Okay, there's no reason for you to feel like you have to blab that to a woman and tell her that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You better learn, and you don't need a body to practice. Like I said, you can just, if you got a good learning ability, you can watch the videos and read the instructions, and then when you get in bed, then you start doing that. If you're at a restaurant, you do that. If you're on a date, you do that. If you're on the phone, you do that. And you don't listen to these idiots with all these rhymes and games and tricks and stuff like that. You listen to somebody who's going to tell you how to be authentic and real with a woman, and then that's what you do. And then you get something, you'll get someplace. I know they just, oh my God, they just say the dumbest shit. You just be sitting there looking at them like, do you even know why you said that? What are you thinking that made you think that you should say that? What was your goal for saying that? Did you want me to be turned off? You didn't have to go through all the trouble. All you had to say is, I don't think this is really working out. But then when it doesn't work out, when they say stupid shit and then you get up and you want to pay your own bill and go on your merry way, then they had the nerve to be having an attitude. But it's like, you don't understand that you fucked this up. When I came here for this date, I was all excited. But during the course of the conversation and the meal, you fucked it up because you said stupid shit. You said rude things. You thought it was a joke to put me down and to nag me, and you thought that was going to get you some booty. No, that's going to get you your hand when you get home. That's what's going to happen to you because nobody want to be bothered with you. No woman with any self-esteem is going to want to be bothered with a man who talks to her like that. But these guys don't get it. Like I said, these young ones make the mistake of listening to these fools that's online with all this rap and drama telling them all this stupid stuff. And then they be mad because they be in their mama's basement playing video games, mouth breathing, and can't get a girlfriend. Stop listening to them. Listen to me. Listen to the ladies over here. They telling you how to handle it. Okay? My God, just shut up. That's the main thing men need to do. Just stop fucking talking. Shut the hell up. Question number 13, female, 22 to 27, Aries. She's white from Dallas, Texas. Oh, I don't think so much as I have a question, but I want to share my thoughts. I think girls should stop waiting and ask men out already. For the longest time, it was ingrained in me that men need to make the first approach. And for the longest time, I was single for that reason. It's not that men didn't want to ask me out, it's because they have absolutely no idea what I wanted from them. Okay, that's a real leap in logic, but we'll go back to that in a minute. I missed so many opportunities to date guys I wanted to date just because I waited around hoping they'd say something to me. So you know what I did? I stopped caring and I started to ask them out. And you know what? I haven't not been on a date with said guy. Of course, I'm not saying they won't say no, but I've asked out 3 and they all said yes. Ha ha ha, she writes. Instead of regretting not being able to get a chance, start being able to say, at least I tried. What do you think about that? I think if it's working for you, go ahead. Do what you want to do, but I have to, let you in on a secret. White men are different than black men. Black culture is different from white culture. And in our culture, if a man is interested in you, he's going to step up and ask you out. If he's not, doesn't, that means he's not interested. Now, they might be shooting some kind of rap or some silly game or something, but he's still going to do it. Now, what I advocate is kind of an in-between. I use this term breadcrumbing, but when I started using that in the 90s, I meant it in a different way than what has come to mean these days. Now it's associated with something negative. But what I meant was like a woman will drop little hints, little nuggets of promise, shall we say, so that the guy knows that if he does approach her, he won't get rejected. So it's kind of a middle between your approach and what you said people have been teaching you. And what it does, you see a guy that you're interested in and, you're talking to him. There's ways to flirt with him and, let him know that you're interested without actually asking him out. Because you don't know. I mean, you talking to him, so he might have a girlfriend. He might have just got out of something that really, might think you're cute, but he just knows he's not ready for anything like that. Who knows? He's between jobs. He don't have no money. And so you asking him out is going to embarrass him to where he has to say no. And this is a real thing, especially since COVID. Whole bunch of men, millions out of work that weren't before. So, it becomes a very touchy thing. So I prefer my method, and it works for me. And I know I shared a story when I worked at Club One in Oakland. There was a guy who used to come in, and I thought he was just cute. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? And so, I'm siding up to him on the weight room floor. I said, oh, I didn't see you last week because I was the fitness trainer on Sundays. And so I'm like, oh, I didn't see you in here last week. And he's like, oh, yeah, I went up to the mountains and I was, hiking and I did this and that and camping. I said, oh, yeah, camping. We used to do that a lot when I was a kid. What kind of hiking trips have you gone? So we talked about all that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. That sounds so nice. Okay, so then the next weekend he comes and he tells me about the other stuff he did, on Saturday. I said, oh, that sounds nice. Oh, Lake Erie. I said, yeah, I love fishing, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So by the third week, he finally got it. Now I'm saying, I love this stuff. I love doing all the stuff that you say you like to do too. Clown, what is that telling you? So he's like, well, next Saturday I'm thinking about going here and there, blah, blah, blah. This lakes they have down in Anderson Lake and some other lakes down in San Jose area. And he's like, oh, would you like to go with me? Bam. Sure, says Deborah. What time we going? Because we were going to go on Saturday because I had to work on Sunday. And so you see what I mean? So, it took a couple of weeks, but I, couldn't really stand around talking to him that much because I was at work. But, he finally did get it. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. It's like you throw these little nuggets in a flirtatious way, conversation that lets them know, hey, that sounds like fun. I'd like to do that with you. I'd like to go there with you. I'd like to be around you. Because we could stand around the gym, jaw jacket, so you could see that we already got along. And so then we did, and it was fun. And I, kicked it with him for a minute, but I couldn't. That's only 3 weeks, Mary Elizabeth. That's not 3 Saturdays, 3 Sundays, about 20 minutes of conversation 3 times. So that's less than that's an hour invested of time. That's nothing. And so, but then I don't know. I started going through some changes, so I cut it off. But then I left Club One anyway. So to me that worked because it still let him feel like he was the man. He asked me out. Since he was, wanted it, he took charge of everything. When he picked me up, he had the food ready, he had the poles ready, he had everything ready. So all I had to do was sit there and look cute. And it worked out great. And we hung out and, we had a good time. So that's my preferred method. They used to call it in my grandmother's era using your feminine wiles. I don't know what they call it now. But I don't know. I hesitate for women to just go up to men and asking them out. To me, it removes the element that is important to the male ego of chasing what they want, going after it, exerting some energy to get it. If it just comes real easy, then you run the risk of having to take the lead to do everything in the relationship because he never really expressed that much interest in you to begin with. He went along with it, but most likely just because he was flattered and you asked him. Did he really want you? That remains a big question. And that usually comes out in how they handle the relationship, in which they're just not really invested at all. And the first thing that comes along that does get their attention, he's off asking her to go out and you just in the wind because he didn't really want you in the first place. You just made yourself available. So think about what I said. Think about from your perspective. And I'm sure you'll figure out something in the middle. Question number 14, female 22 to 27, a Virgo in Charleston, South Carolina. I need advice about men because I just don't get them at all. I've been mindlessly swiping through dating apps. I know I should even expect more from what I'm getting for the past few weeks, and I've met a number of decent, and she put that in quotes, men. I mean, they're pretty decent in the beginning, I guess. Honestly, I am not looking for a relationship, but if it happens, I'll be totally fine with it. I met my ex-boyfriend of 4 years on Tinder, so I'm not completely against this kind of stuff. My issue is that men are just so hard to read. I definitely make it clear that I want to have fun and am open to something more serious in the future, but my God, the number of guys who hit you up just to hang out with them for one night and then ghost you until weeks later is absurd. Oh, is that what they be doing? And I'm not just talking about physical stuff. This weekend I got a text from an old fling asking me to come over, and he wanted me to watch Netflix shows with him all night. Many variations of things like this have happened. For example, let's go to a baseball game, let's go get sushi, etc. I'm not complaining, but do men just get lonely occasionally and just want to spend time with a fake girlfriend for the night? It super blows, especially because I get sort of attached to people I vibe with. Why would you invite me over to spend time with you and then ghost me for weeks until you're bored again? I would much rather be ghosted permanently. LOL. I don't get it. Can you explain it to me? You guys put your comments there that y'all be doing the online dating. I can't be bothered. But I'm going to say this. See, you going into a date, you say you're not looking for a relationship, but you're lying to yourself. Because everything that you're saying here indicates that you had all kinds of expectations. Otherwise, if you didn't hear from him for weeks, it wouldn't bother you because you wasn't expecting to hear from him anyway. It was a fun time, and that's it. And we're on to the next one. But the fact that you took the time and you've been thinking about this and you took the time to go on this website and fill out the form and press that button means that you're lying to yourself. You do want a relationship, and that's why you're so angsty about the fact that they don't treat you like that's what they want either. So this is what you do. When you're dealing with these dudes, stop thinking that it's going to be anything other than what it is, some bullshit. You are going to hang out with them. You have a good time. You move on to the next one. If you don't want to be bothered with them, once you get back from the first date, you block them so then they can't call you again. But you forget you don't know how to do that? You leave yourself open for this kind of drama and bullshit to keep coming into your life, and then you want to write me and complain about it. You did that to yourself. Activate the block and delete feature. Okay? Then you won't have this problem. Now, the fact that they want to ask you and hang out and stuff like that, yeah, they get lonely. Most likely he was cheating with somebody else that he also met on the dating app, and then it didn't work out. So he's cycling through his black book to figure out who's got time to spend some time with him so he won't have to be by himself. A lot of women don't know this, but men hate being alone. They hate it. They hate it more than anything in the world. I think most men don't really like themselves. So a woman being there kind of buffers the impact of them having to be bothered with their own company. That's the best I can figure. It's just real interesting. So anyway, so yeah, he doesn't want to be watching the movies by himself. He wants somebody there to talk to and laugh with and just breathe the same air that he's breathing. I don't know. But if you don't want to go, like I said, then just block and delete them, and then you would eliminate all of this problem in your future. Go through your phone and do it right now, and then none of this problem will be eliminated from your life like pronto within the next 60 seconds. Question number 15, female 35 to 41, Pisces from Orange, California. She's black. The male is a 42 to 49-year-old Scorpio, and he's black. Okay, Orange, California. I want to break up with my boyfriend. Okay, just tell us how you really feel and need help figuring out how to go about it. This dusty fool has been living with me for 6 or 7 months now, and I can't get him to leave. Oh, he is 46 and I am 36. Girl, okay, let me shut up. We have been dating for a year. Deb, this roach hasn't worked full time. Full time since we started living together. Everything was going great, but now I'm left to be financially responsible for everything. I have asked him numerous times to move out, but he won't because he doesn't have a job, a car, or license for that matter. I have hounded him over and over that I cannot live like this. I am a single mother of one. He has 3 kids from a previous relationship. I was doing great until he moved in. I know he needs to leave, but he keeps giving me the sob story of how he has nowhere to go and no friends or family to help him. I've gone so far as to not help him anymore with his kids and have started doing things without him. He constantly asks for things that aren't important, like booze and smokes. I keep trying to cut him off those things because I cannot afford his habits. How do I get him to leave? When I do get him out, I will be breaking up with him because he brings nothing to the table. I see what you said, Mo. See, Mo, that's how I be thinking too. This is a typical kind of way that works out. Okay, let's see. She says he don't bring nothing to the table. I am too old to play these childish games and to be mothering a full-grown adult male. This is not how I want my life to be. I know you're going to ask, so here it is. He is not on my lease and he does not have keys to my place. Any advice would be super helpful. Oh, well, shit, then put his shit out. He's not on the lease and he don't have keys. You know what you could do? I don't know if you had the money. You know how they have them like them little hotels where you stay with the little kitchenette and stuff, and you pay for a week. Pay for a week. Get somebody to come and help you move all his shit. Move his shit into the little hotel thing, and then give him the key to the little hotel thing, and to be done. Because he's not on the lease and he don't have a key. So you don't have to do nothing too much about it. You just forward his mail to that place and then tell him he is on his own deuces. He can go down and apply for welfare, get social services, or stay in one of them derelict hotel rooms. Excuse me, where they have homeless bums live. He can do any of those kind of things. But okay, now let's cycle back and let's talk about you. Let's talk about you for a minute. We're gonna talk about you, and it's not gonna be pretty. Okay, Miss 36-year-old, why would you get with a man who had no car, no license, and no job? Okay, I'm assuming he probably had a job at first, but then he lost the job. Okay, but he don't have a car and he don't have no license. What grown man, 46 years old, does not have a car or a license? I'll tell you what, someone who's got a DUI, owes back child support, and they snatch his license. So any way you look at that, that's a liability. Instead of just getting rid of the liability, you move the liability into your home. You know why? Because you was a sucker and you had that I'ma save him mentality. But now that you've worn out from saving this drag and drama, now you want to dump him. You never should have had him in your house. You never should have had some bum move into your house. Any man worth anything does not move into a woman's house unless she's like a Rockefeller or something and she got a fucking palace or something, then yeah, maybe. But other than that, he's a bitch. Okay? He's a bitch. And you move some bitch ass man into your house over your kid. What the fuck were you thinking? Now that's where we got to go with this. Because there's nothing here. You say he don't bring nothing to the table. Well, he didn't have no table to bring. I mean, what? What were you thinking? All he ever could have had given you was some D, and you think you had to move that in to get that? Please. Get this fool out. Do what I said. It's gonna cost you some money, but you know what? That's the price you need to pay for being stupid. So you're gonna move him to some hotel or something, move his shit in there, and then give him the key to the place and pay for it for a week, and then let him be gone. Because what he has after that, he can just do day labor or something. I don't care what he does, sell some ass, whatever he gonna do. This is just too unbelievable. Anyway, let's move on. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She is an Aquarius. She's white and she's from Rockford, Illinois. And she's dating a male in the 22 to 27 age group, an Aries, and he's black. Okay, so we got an interracial relationship here. Thank you, Candace, for choosing my letter. I have a question for you, Deb, and the ladies of the squad who have more life experience than I do. I need to know how I, a 23-year-old girl, can subtly tell a 22-year-old guy that I won't get busy with him. This is the scenario. If a guy invites me over, how can I tell him that I won't sleep with him without being too blunt or cringy? I'm trying to be better about being more blunt and firm with my boundaries because I want to avoid an awkward or frustrating situation when I actually get there. I do trust this guy not to force me to do anything, but I don't want it to lead him on. We have made out a couple of times, but I've never been to his place, and I think our next hangout it will come up. I was thinking of saying I would love to spend the night with you, but I just don't want to expect too much out of it. I don't know. It doesn't sound great to me. Any ideas would be greatly appreciated. The more subtle, the better. It just feels out of place to bring it up somewhat out of the blue when we haven't talked about any of this. Thank you. I'm going to say this. Why you just start dating? Why you got to go to his house? Thanks, Ryan. Why do you need to go to his house? There's like 5 million places you could go besides his house. You know, if you don't go to his house, this whole issue here is just null and void. Unless you're ready to give up the panties, you don't go to some man's house. Now, that's just the way I feel about it. Excuse me. Hold on a second. I don't be inviting them to mine either. We be out in public. So, you know, if you don't go, then you don't have to worry about this. And you can have this kind of conversation where you say it's like when he started trying to make moves in that direction. You just say, I'm not ready for anything more, any deeper level than what we got right now. And then you're going to be hit with the why not? I'm okay. I'm a good dude. I'm a man, blah, blah, blah. And you might be really all of those things, but until I feel comfortable, then it's not going to happen. And that's all you have to say. But, ideally, I don't understand why so many young girls, want to go up in dudes' houses just because the dude invites you. Don't you guys know how to say no? No, I'm not coming. No, I don't feel good doing that. No, I don't want to. Have you ever heard of date rape? It doesn't matter if you trust him or not. Since most of the girls who had that kind of situation trusted the dude, that's why they was in the situation. I'm saying don't put yourself in the situation and then you won't have that problem. See where I'm going with this? Eliminate bullshit by avoiding problems and drama. I mean, he might be a very nice dude and all this kind of stuff, but I'm saying this habit y'all have of running up to dudes' houses that you really don't know too much about, that's stupid. That's high risk, and it's very dangerous. Stop doing it. Okay? Question 17, female, 35 to 41 from Pasadena, California. She's Latina. The male in question is 42 to 49. Hi, Deb. I need your thoughts on this situation with my boyfriend. I asked to use my longtime boyfriend's phone to use the internet because I couldn't connect with mine. He offered it to me right away with no problem. Unfamiliar with his cell, I hit the back button and saw several pics of my niece, from Facebook I'm assuming, saved to his phone. Before you flip out, number one, my niece is an adult in her mid-20s, and number two, we were not in contact with her at the time and surely did not have any reason to be speaking of her. Am I in the wrong for thinking this is a little off? He claims that he was bored that night and looked up everyone. I'm a bit disgusted and turned off. He also tried to justify it by calling me sick for even thinking of this in the wrong way. Then he brings up things from my past and what he claims he has had to put up with. Is it really possible that the guy just happened to miss her being around and decided to check up on her? But then, if so, why not just ask me if he was so concerned about her well-being? Exactly. Not only that, it wasn't like he just visited the page. He downloaded and saved particular images to his phone, so he didn't have to be online to be looking at your niece with his 42 to 49-year-old ass, lusting after some little girl in her 20s. Now, I know this is your longtime boyfriend, but see, if this were me, he would be fired on the spot, because this guy has designs on your niece. Even if he doesn't think he's going to actually follow through on it, his thinking about your niece is inappropriate and wrong. It's high risk for her if she were ever to be around him alone, because he's not acting like an uncle. He's acting like a predator. And what's he doing all over her page and stuff? If you anything, you should text your niece and tell her to block him so he can't get to her page anymore. That would be one thing, to keep up with her activities and who her friends are and, all this kind of stuff. She needs to be blocked so that he can't see anything from her page ever again. And then, no. I could see it if, he had viewed it. You could see his history, that he had went over a different bunch of people's Facebook pages. But the fact that he took the time to select images and download them to his phone is what's taking this to a whole new level. And he would have to be up out of my life. You need to think about this. Think about it. It's not a good look. Question number 18, female, 35 to 41, Milton Keynes in the UK. How do you suggest women reply when someone asks you why you have been single for a long time? I am a divorced 37-year-old woman, and I've casually dated a variety of men over the past 8 years. Please don't judge me, but I was also involved with a married man on and off during that time as well. Well, I'm not married to him. I don't care. I want to move on with my life and date single, available men, but I need to know how to address that question, quote, why have you been single for so long, end quote. I get this question from friends, family, and potential dates. I feel like I just haven't met the right person yet. Is that a good answer? Sometimes I feel like there must be something wrong with me. I don't have any kids, I make my own money, and I have a good career as a registered nurse. I'm physically fit and told I'm beautiful, but I just can't seem to find that connection with someone. I have that spark and connection with my married friend, but I'm tired of being the other woman. Can you help me, please? Why have you been single for so long? Okay, I know you want to answer, but I first have to get out the Deb response. Why is that your business? And then when I say that, people usually be like, they be stuttering and doing this blinking thing like that because they didn't expect that answer. Well, I just wanted to know. Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel like you need to know because it's none of your business what goes on in my life. And then they usually shut up. Now, you don't seem like the type who want to do that, though, so you want to actually give them an answer. And what you could say is you just haven't met the right person yet. But, I think the thing that people, single, what does that mean? Does it mean like unattached, period? Like not dating, not having a boyfriend? Or does it mean unmarried? You can start there and ask, well, what do you mean? You mean not dating, not having a boyfriend or a steady partner, or you mean not married? No, I've never been married. But I have had, partners, so it's not like I've been single my entire life. So what are you getting at here? So that's another way to deflect it. But I don't know. I just really don't think people need to be asking those kinds of questions. It's none of their goddamn business. It's just fucking nosy. Just be asking people all kind of personal questions. Because I'm picky and I'm not like you, desperate, taking everything that just comes along, swinging a dick. That's what my real response would be. You just take anything. I'm not like you. I have standards. You can say that to the female. I don't know. This question, this irritates me. This is when people ask these kind of stuff. This nosy asses. But anyway, take your pick of those options and just whichever one works for you. Question number 19. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group, a Capricorn. She's black from Montreal, Canada. I'm 22 and my boyfriend is 25. I need help figuring out how to love myself more and be brave to feel the pain and grief of a pending breakup. I had a wonderful relationship. He was nice in everything that I wanted in a guy. After a year and a half, he told me that he had lost feelings for me and wanted to break up. His reason was because of a mix of little things I did which he has never communicated to me about. I asked for a second chance and wanted to fix things. However, I could sense that this was not working. But I find it very hard for me to let him go, although I am hurting so badly living in a relationship where I'm not allowed to fix and change for the person I love. What can I do to ease the pain and leave him? Well, he already left you. What you talking about? I think what you mean is so that you can just move away with a good conscience. You know, when a man tells you he don't want you no more, it's over. You begging and trying to make a second chance and trying to figure out how you're going to make it work all by yourself, he's not going to invest any time or energy into it because he doesn't want you anymore. It's over. So, you know, you talking about to leave him. There's nothing to leave, girlfriend. It's over. What part do you not get there? There's no courage required because it's over. I mean, he already left her, so there's nothing for her to leave. That's what I'm saying. You know, she's trying to beg around for a second chance, but you know, dude is done. He's done. That's why he wanted to break up. So anything that she's hanging on to is just her fantasy and the, you know, let her down easy kind of stuff. That's all that's going on. So what you have to do is just, you know, just do the cold turkey, no contact, block him on everything, and start your healing process. Don't be thinking about trying to go out with nobody else until you get your head straight. Because right now, you too focused on him. You're not ready yet. You can never change anybody but yourself. And most people don't even have the ability to do that. Okay, so you trying to fix a relationship. You don't fix a relationship. They either work or they don't. And both parties have to be invested in making them work. One person can't do that either. So a lot of what you have here, I would suggest that you spend some time on this channel looking at the videos, especially about boundaries and self-esteem, and work on those things first so that you understand, you know, where you went wrong. You don't make this mistake again. Let's move on. Question number 20. Female, 28 to 34 age group. She's a Capricorn out of Boston. The young man in question, same age group, is a Gemini, and they're black. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 15 years. We both have talked about marriage and both want to get married and start a family. However, I am hesitant because my partner gambles. Oh. I told him I do not want to get married and having kids involved knowing that he gambles. He said he will not allow it to get in the way of his finance and to take care of me and a family. He also said he does not see himself stop gambling. He said he is willing to gamble less casually, he says. It is not an addiction, so it will not become a problem. I told him I do not see myself continuing the relationship with gambling in the picture. He says he does not want me to leave, and his only solution to gambling is to do it casually. I offered him to go to therapy and counseling. He says he does not need it and will not go. Now, you know, girl, no black man will be going. I mean, some are starting to now, but I'm at the point where I'm trying to make a decision that is best for me. He is very hurt and does not want me to leave him, but he says he does not see himself marrying another woman if it's not me. Not your problem. He is a great guy, kind, supportive, does a lot for me without me asking. He cooks, cleans, and spends money on me and pays the larger bills for a living, and I take care of the smaller bills. However, he is not a good saver of money. He says he is not where he wants to be financially. I told him that there's many ways to improve financially, like going back to school, or he can start a business. But he feels everything is so hard to get what he wants out of life. He feels like he does not have enough opportunities. Well, he ain't busy trying to make any either, because he's too busy gambling his opportunities and money away. That's why he don't have no money in the bank, because he gambles it away. I'm going to say this: um, if you want stability in your home, you want to know that the money that you put in the bank is still there when you go to get it. You want to know that if any kind of emergency comes up, you're going to have the money there to handle it. You want a man who is not an extreme risk taker like this, then this is not the guy for you. I mean, it's great that he checks all these other boxes, but what you want is a man who doesn't gamble. And what he is a man who gambles and has told you to your face he's not going to stop. So what you doing? Again, you cannot change anybody but yourself. He's told you, even when you asked me, he already told you that he's not going to change. So, and he doesn't want you to leave him. Well, that's just too damn bad, okay? Because you rather gamble than have me. So you only get one or the other. You don't get both. So I'm out. Boop. And that's what you have to do. You have the courage to stick to your guns and get what you want out of life, girlfriend. You don't have to settle for this. I mean, he's a good model. He's a good launch pad for you to, take what was good here and then build on it with someone else. But I'm telling you, having had gambling people in my family that were like that risk-taking attitude permeates the relationship. These dudes had their kid in the dark because they gambled away the light money. Where the kids had to go to other people's houses to eat because he gambled away the grocery money. And this didn't happen right away. This is over, 10 or 15 years. And the wife thought, it was just some minor stuff. But it escalated. It's like any kind of thing else. It does become an addiction. And they always think that the next time they play the horse ponies, the next time they go up to Reno, the next time they play, go to the slot machines or whatever, that they're going to hit it big. And instead, they're losing thousands and thousands every time they go. So, it snowballs. But I've seen that happen, and I don't think it's a good idea for you, knowing what you want. Just leave them alone. Let's move on. Question number 21. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group. She's African American in Los Angeles. The male in question is 18 to 21 as well. He is also black. So I started talking to this guy again. He's my neighbor, and we reconnected after we saw each other at an event. He started hitting me up throughout the week, and I would respond. We didn't really have a convo back and forth, and he said that was due to him having 2 jobs. He eventually asked me if I wanted to walk dogs with him around 10 after his work, and we walked and talked, and we eventually left the dogs inside, and we ended up talking until 3 a.m. Throughout that time, he kept complimenting on how beautiful and cute I was. And he got, quote, lost in my eyes, end quote, and how when he saw my smile that his, quote, heart stopped, end quote. These young dudes and their games is just too much for me. He also told me that he wouldn't do this with anyone else, and he kept repeating how much of a good time he was having. He held my hand for a bit, but then we let go, and he was staring at me a lot. We went back in the car, and he offered to get me food, and I said I was okay, and then I saw him biting his lip and looking at me a lot. He walked me back home, but we didn't kiss. I texted him 2 days later, and then he texted me back 2 days after that, apologizing for taking so long and again saying how much of a great time he had and asked to walk dogs again. He texted me at 3 a.m. Why was your phone on? Originally, he asked me what was the move, and I responded an hour later, and he said it was too late, but he wants to walk dogs again this week. I said I'm down Sunday, which was yesterday, and he agreed. Sunday rolls around, and I texted him at 9 if he was down to walk at 10, and he didn't respond until a day later. He also said he's never had a girlfriend before. So do you think this is a frog boy or what? Oh, you can tell she's been on the channel because that's my video where I changed the name from F boy to frog boy. That's our little acronym, like we use eggplant and the other little terms we have around here. Yeah, he's definitely a frog boy. First of all, let's rewind on this so that you can start handling yourself better. First of all, you do not go anywhere with some man at 10 o'clock at night. That's booty call time. Okay. You do not let men text you or call you at 3 a.m. That's very disrespectful. Either that or it means that you all don't have shit going on, in which case you really should get you something going on, because that makes no damn sense to be as old as you are and not have a job or some school or something to do with yourself, that you need to be asleep at 3 a.m. instead of roaming the streets with some wild beast. Okay. Number two, you text him and then he doesn't text you back. Why do you keep chasing him and texting him over and over and over and it's trying to get something going with this dude? You're acting desperate. Stop it. Just drop this. Don't even pick it up. If he wants to walk dogs or he wants to see you or something, then he needs to make a date with you during normal hours during the day and then take you to lunch or dinner or a movie or something. What you should not be doing is roaming the streets at midnight, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, or 3 in the morning. I don't even understand what you were thinking. That just screams desperation. And I don't have shit going on, and whatever you offering is better than me just doing what I need to be doing for myself. This is not a good look. Stop this. Don't do this anymore. Question number 22, female, 22 to 27. She's African American from Ann Arbor, Michigan. The male in question is 28 to 34. So 22 to 27 and 28 to 34. Okay. Deb, girl, she says, this man needs to make a decision. We've been dating for 7 years and he still won't give me the ring. I told him that I wanted to settle down at this age, but I don't know if he has any plans. Is it okay to ask him? What should I do? How should I handle this situation? Oh, that's it. He still won't give you the ring and it's been 7 years. Why did you stay after 2? You know, just because you get a ring, that don't mean you're going to get married. Please understand. There's a thing called a shut-up ring. Many women get them, and they don't mean shit. You have the ring, but that's about it. You be engaged for 999 years, but you never get married. So what this is telling me is that this young man in Ann Arbor, Michigan, does not want to get married, and at least not to you, and he's just stringing you along and you're wasting the best years of your life. And then when you get in your 30s and realize that you just wasted a whole decade of your life and you leave him, then you'll be too old and you'll be thinking, oh no, I'm not cute and young anymore and now nobody wants me. So what I'm going to tell you to do right now is to just deuce out on this. Tell them, look, it's obvious after 7 years you don't want to get married. You just want to use me up. I'm out, dude. This shit here is over. Well, I don't know what he is, but I don't really worry about what they are. I worry about what she's doing to herself, which is wasting her life in this dude. You don't invest more than 2 years, because when you're young like this, usually people are finishing school, and there's things going on that take their time, and they don't really want to press forward with marriage until they've reached those milestones. So, for you, a year or 2 would make more sense. But at my age, people they be like, shit, we might die 6 months from now, so we be trying to like get it going. So people be meeting and getting married within 3, 4, 5 months, because they want to get started on the best years of their life, and they don't want to wait anymore. They've already waited. But you youngsters, you guys have time, but you're giving him too many years of your life, sweetie. You need to deuce out on this and move on to someone else who wants what you want and who is ready. And try dating somebody, who's more focused on that. Because usually a lot of dudes get out of their system, and they're ready in their early 30s, mid 30s to get married and to have a family and that kind of stuff. Because they already done all that road running and all that stuff. So they're looking for something a little bit more serious. So you should be able to find it. Stay off the dating apps, though. Question number 23. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's white, from London, England. The male in question is 35 to 41-year-old age group, and he is Indian. Oh, probably Pakistani, one of them. Okay. I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years now and have brought the engagement ring together. The ring, here's another ring issue. The ring is with him, so I'm just waiting for him to propose. Throughout these 4 years, I have been pretty happy. We do fight like all couples, but make up after that. My boyfriend is extremely hot-tempered, so when we do fight, he tends to shout and raises his voice at me. Sometimes when he is extremely mad, he tends to release his frustration on objects around him, like punching a pillow in front of me. I am, however, the complete opposite of him. I am patient, soft-spoken, and hardly show any temper. So whenever his temper flares up, it really hurts me, and I just end up crying. We have spoken about his temper before, and he has promised to change. Over the years, I have seen some improvement, but I understand it's hard to get somebody to change 180 in such a short span of time. He has promised to control his temper, but I know changes like this don't happen immediately. I do love him very much because apart from his temper, he treats me very well when he's in a good mood. He is also always the one who apologizes first when we fight. He has explained that he is hot-tempered by nature, and this is further aggravated by work stress. He works very hard 7 days a week because he says he wants to start a family with me. My concern, however, is that it could potentially get worse in the future because work stress will definitely increase as you move up in your career. What happens when we get married and he's unable to change because of increasing work stress and we just end up fighting every day? And I always get hurt because I have less of a temper and I'm more patient. But what happens if we have kids? My future kids will have to witness us fighting and seeing daddy lash out at their mommy. I don't want that for my future kids. Should I reconsider this relationship? I'm also 31 this year and I'm worried I may not be able to find someone else in time to start a family. So at 31, I don't feel like I have much time left to start over. Oh, girl, you tripping. 31, you still got milk breath. Stop it. You have at least another 10 years to find somebody and have a damn baby. I'm glad you were thinking this through and you're seeing the red flags waving like a parade here. This guy is nobody I'd want to have for a husband. I don't want to deal with somebody who's flashing and temperamental and going crazy like that. Shoot, can you imagine? Because I'm already halfway there myself. Me with somebody who was like that, man, it would be explosive. That would be a nightmare. Because my husband was like the super calm, super calm. Unless somebody super pissed him off. And he only got that mad a couple of times and it wasn't at me. But, he usually was like real, just calm, level-headed, just easygoing and stuff. And it was me who was the crazy one. So, but with men being the crazy one, fists tend to fly and violence tends to happen and people tend to get hurt. So you might want to rethink this. You're looking at, again, banking on potential. You're looking at, well, he can change. Well, he's not going to change because he's a grown man and this is who he is. So instead of imagining some fantasy world where he becomes the man that you want him to be, look at him realistically because what you see is what you get. This is your dude. This is it. This is it right here. If this is not what you want and can't see yourself with this for the next 20 years and your children living in an environment with somebody going crazy like this every time he gets upset about some work stress, then this is not someone you should ever consider as a husband and you definitely should not have children with them. Okay? So let's move on from this. You worked through all the red flags and all the problem areas and you arrived at the same conclusion. So you just want somebody to validate your thought processes? You just got it. Question number 24. This is the next to last question of the evening. This is a man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's European white from Bristol in the UK. I'm very confused and need to know what's the difference between dating / being exclusive and / seeing each other. Oh. I find these terms very confusing. It could also be because I don't have a lot of dating experience. Anyway, I'm currently seeing someone, if that's the right term. And it's been 4 dates so far, with the 5th one happening soon. She mentioned over text that we are, quote, dating, and I was kind of caught off guard because in my head, dating someone means that you're boyfriend, girlfriend. But I spoke to a friend, and apparently that's not the case. Is dating different from being exclusive or being girlfriend and boyfriend? I would appreciate some experienced folks to shed some light on this for me. Well, I see it like I divide dating into 3 categories. Okay, there's like early dating, which is like super casual dating, where you meet the person, you see the person when and whenever you want to, and you might see them, you might not. Weeks might go by, months might go by, whatever. It's no big deal. It's you just kind of getting to know them, and it's just nothing really attached to it. Okay, so that's like early date, and it is dating because it's known to be a date. It's not a quote hangout. This is a date. Okay. Then there's, the relationship dating where you are labeled like boyfriend, girlfriend. There's certain expectations between you of, fidelity and loyalty. And I don't know, some people move in together. I mean, all kinds of stuff be going on. And that is more serious dating. It's a little next level up. There's some little level of, commitment involved there where you two normally at that point have agreed to only see each other. And it's for a lot of people is going towards something. They're thinking they're building towards marriage. Some people have children at this stage, but it's not anything I recommend, but people do it. Some people buy property at this stage. I don't recommend that either. But so they're invested in each other in different ways. And then there's the very serious dating, which is essentially you're like just about to be engaged or you are engaged. You're still quote dating because you're not married. But your plan is in motion to get there. So that's like a different level, next level up dating. That's more serious. So that's the way that I divide it. And then the talking to phase, which is at the very bottom, is like what you guys do when you're on these dating apps and you like a picture and you might send a text or some little chat thing, instant message or whatever to a bunch of different people and you go back and forth, kind of feeling them out and stuff. That's the quote talking to stage. And it's not even beginning dating. That's just kind of an exploration. So that's how I do it, and I hope that helps. Question number 25, our last question of the day. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group, an Aquarius from Chicago. And she says she's white, and the male in question is a 28 to 34 Leo, also white. Okay, this is Aquarius and Leo. Hi, Deb. Currently, I'm dealing with a man who has contacted me after several years. For the past year or so, he will message me either on social media or over the phone to tell me random things and talk to me. The first time he messaged, he said how beautiful he thought I was and how he's always had a crush on me. I thanked him for the compliment and waited for him to ask me out, but the invitation never came. Now he messages me occasionally, responding to when I post something on social media, texting to ask me how I am, etc. But it's always random and never followed through with an offer for a date. We don't live in the same city, which is why it's even odd that he contacts me so often. He is quite financially successful and could afford to fly in to visit me, so I am really confused why he doesn't ask. It's honestly annoying me, and I've started giving one-word answers back or ignoring him. But I don't want to be too rude as we have mutual friends in common. Also, he's very attractive and successful, so I guess I don't want to give up entirely on him. Do you have an explanation as to what he's doing and how I should respond next time, or should I just block him? Well, I mean, if you don't have shit else to do with your time and like to waste it on the phone with a fool, then yeah, you can continue this idiocy. But other than that, I mean, he's not talking about nothing. He's not trying to get nothing going with you. You putting too much on it. He's just something to do. You're entertainment for him when he don't have nothing else to do. Instead of playing a video game on his phone, he texts you. It's about that much involvement from him emotionally. I would also think, now of course I don't know this for a fact, but his behavior indicates that he has some kind of relationship going on with somebody else, and that his dib and dabbing with you is just a side attraction. Possibly, since you live in a different area, possibly so that when he does come to your area, you guys can hook up, because you would feel like, oh, he's finally going to take me out after all this time, and oh my God, and he's so rich and he's handsome, and oh my God. So, it could be some of that too. Like I said, I don't know that for a fact, but his behavior kind of points in that direction. So you're saying, you're not ready to give up on him. There's nothing to give up on, because nothing is going on here. Ain't shit happening. There's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, he's just wasting time and playing on the phone. And you're like, I don't want to give up on him. Just like I said, if you want to just continue to waste time, then just continue this. Otherwise, if you want to just not have to think about him anymore and be bothered with his bullshit, just block him. Yeah, it's just, I just don't understand why you think that this is something that you need to be bothered with. I mean, he sounds like a fool. He sounds like a fool to me. I don't know, like, why are you bothering my nerves and bugging me and sending me stupid texts and stuff? How old are you? would have had that kind of conversation coming out of me. I just don't know. She say he's texting for the toilet. Well, you never know. He might be because hide from his real woman. But whatever. Because I know a lot of women are just really lonely and they don't really have hobbies and interests. They go to work and they come home. They watch a movie or something on TV. Maybe go to a happy hour here and there with their friends. Maybe work to a gym. But they don't really have any real passion in their life. So when they have a guy that comes along and does this kind of stuff, he's a welcome distraction and it gives them something to think about. So they, start fantasizing that it's going to be something and that his little bullshit ass texts and stuff are meaningful and his stupid conversation about how beautiful you are and all that stuff is, he really means it's something that's going to jump off and stuff. It's nothing but bullshit. Okay? It's just words. And if he's not doing nothing to back the words up, then just leave him alone. That's my thing. These dudes really get on my nerves so bad. Okay, what we got coming up? I'm glad that's over because there was a lot of letters today that's pissed me off. This is what we got coming up. Everybody been waiting. Yes, it's coming on Friday. I got to start working on the slides. So if you have some that you want to send in, you've run across some crazy stuff online and you think would be good on the DNN, then send it in to email to survivingdating@gmail.com. That's survivingdating@gmail.com and make the subject line DNN or Dusty News. That's what we got. So it was going to run through September. I think I'm going to try to make it to that long. And, we should have fun. It's always a good time. This is the fourth annual summer of Dusty News Network. For those of you who don't know, we do this, and it's just stupid. Because, we talk about a lot of kind of serious stuff on the channel. But during the Dusty News Network, it's summer programming only. It's just stupid. There's no intellectual, intelligent thing about it. It's just to come hang out, talk shit in the chat room, and laugh at the dusty stuff that people say online. And then most of them have the nerve to show their face next to the crazy stuff they say, which I would be looking like Cousin It. You would not see my face. But they don't seem to have any shame. So I thought it was real interesting. So, that'll be Friday night. Hit the subscribe button and share a link to a video. You can hit the DNN link and share that and get people over here for the show. And then in the meantime, I'll see you guys, when I see you, I guess on Friday. But take the time to check out some of the videos that we did recently. The one on boundaries is extremely important for women. I also extended that survey, and I plan to do a more complete review of the survey results during February 2023. So you'll find information about that on the community wall or on Debsterism.com. See y'all on Friday night. Be ready. It's going to be a blast.